You should be good as soon as you see something.
Hello, Crafty Friends. Hi, Alice, Betty, and Brenda. Good to see you guys. There we go. How's everybody doing? The chat is not on the side, it's on the bottom. How do I change it? Does she need to make her screen smaller?
She needs to go out and come back in again and click on live chat.
Brenda, go out and come back in and click on my chat when you come back in.
Live chat.
Live chat.
Accept live chat. I believe that that's how you do it. Okay, you ready?
See if it does it for her. Okay, we have a picture. Okay, we'll see you in a sec.
If that doesn't do it, I'll
Okay.
play around.
Okay. Give Brenda a second to get back. We're going to make pretty cards today. I've been looking forward to this because this is really, really fun. Up, we're backwards. Let me hit the flip button if I can see it. Can I see it? I think it's that one. Let's see. Nope. I have that light in my eyes. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
That
looks right.
Oh, that's better. There we go. Hey, sorry your supplies didn't get in on time, but we'll be okay. You'll have lots of fun when you do it. It'll be good. Hi, Mary Glasson. How you doing, friend? Yeah. Atlas says, I can never do this without my wedding ring. Everybody just will be all cattywampus if they can't see my wedding ring.
You could do everything left
still on the bottom, Brenda said.
All right, I will try and figure out how to fix that.
Okay, did you hear Margie? Atlas, she's going to try it and figure out how to get you.
Brenda.
Oh, Brenda. She's going to try and figure out how to get you to the side, unless anybody else knows. Brenda's chat is below the picture. Anybody else know the answer to that?
Brenda, what are you using? Phone, tablet, or computer, or TV? That makes a difference.
Computer.
Computer. Okay.
Okay, well, they're working on that. Let's tie some bows, guys, so we can get some best glue ever on them and get them processing. Looks like we need... let's just go ahead and tie them all. So, I'm going to start with... Doesn't really matter where I start. They're all kind of the same. I'll start with this big one just for the heck of it. We're going to tie our organza ribbon in a 515, maybe a little bigger. Let's see. I'm going to try a 1, 2, 1. It might be too big. I just want to see what it will look like. No, I think it'll be okay. I'm going to tie it in a 1, 2, 1. We'll pull it off, and if I still think it's too big, then we'll make another one and make it smaller. And you guys know the routine by now. I go around one, I go around the back of my cone to one. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. I come in again at 2. And then I make my last loop at 1 again. Oh yeah, that's going to be okay. I like the way this organza looks. It's so soft looking. Okay. I got Margie and Brittany here today. Brittany's working feverishly, putting new stuff in. It seems like all the new stuff came all at once in the last 2 weeks, so we're having to administer a little oxygen to Brittany as we go.
You could stop ordering stuff.
She says there's a good solution to that. I could stop ordering stuff, but then what would all my crafty friends do? Okay, I've got our first bow done and ready to go. Oh, you know what I just did? I just cut that off, but that's okay. I'll wrap it and glue it on top of my... I didn't mean to cut it off.
She got it. Perfect. Nice.
Oh, she fixed.
She got it.
Yay!
Just had to make it
Alice says, "No, don't stop ordering."
Not stop. Just slow down a little.
Brittany says, "Not stop. Just slow it down a little." Okay, putting a little best glue ever on this bow. Setting it off to the side to dry. I'm going to need this again since I clipped my tails and I really wanted to wrap it around my card, but I kind of forgot that. Now I'm going to do this green one. Alice says, okay, but no more ordering 7x7 cards. By the way, did you see that Ashley was going to refund Lisa's 7x7 cards she ordered over there? You better show her where those are.
I think it's not that. I think it's because those are the PSCB is what she ordered, but we have the CBIM, and I don't think she realizes that they're the
Okay,
same.
let's talk to her about that because we definitely got 7x7 covered. and covered according to Brittany. So many 7x7s.
So Debbie, those that are new to your channel, if they wanted to know how to tie those bows, then they need to go to a YouTube video that you have out, right?
Correct. If you are watching this for the first time, then, yep, we have a YouTube video. In fact, go to my last YouTube video on bow tying. I'm using the Embellishment Attic Bow Maker, which we have in our store. And I can link that in the comments for you. I actually recommend you get the whole kit and watch the video and work along with the kit so that you can get the benefit of tying different kinds of ribbons and different kinds of bows right along with the video. But yes, thank you, Margie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's funny. Yep, I am banned from ordering 7x7 cards unless they're from Craft Perfect. Our 50 packs of 7x7 sold out in just a few days, so I guess I need to get a few more of those. But
We had talked about making them the hunky-dory bundle for the
yeah, I did talk to Brittany. She said, can I just bundle up some of the hunky-dory cards because they're just as good a quality, and can I just sell 50 packs of those? So that's what we're going to do, I guess. So she can move out some of my excess ordering inventory. That last bow that I did, Alice, is a 515. This one, the purple one, I think I'm going to make a little bit bigger again because as you can see, it's kind of crossing across the whole card. So I'm going to make this one a 121. Leaving lots of room for tails. I'll go through at 1, I'll go across to 2, I'll come back at 2, then I'll come across to 1 again, back to 1, down through the hole, back up over the top. Part of my bow making stuff for the new class came in. I'm waiting for another order of that so I can decide for sure which ribbon and stuff I want to put in the kits. But I wrapped presents last night so I could put some of my sample bows on gifts to show you what they look like. And it was really fun. I didn't have Scotch tape upstairs, so I used my finger lift tape, and I put all of my tape on the inside when I wrapped my gifts, and there's not a single tape line showing anywhere on my packages. They look just beautiful. Good. And it worked really well. It was fast and easy, and I'm wrapping my presents with finger lift tape this year. Did
Mary has some coworkers that are affected, and
I'm sorry, Mary.
Had it in March.
You had it in March? Oh no. Goodness sakes. You know, in March we didn't know enough about it yet to keep everybody safe. Now we do, but with things opening up, I'm afraid we might have more, not less, for a while. Okay. Well, let's just keep you all in and safe, shall we? Those of you that can stay in. Okay, put a little finger lift on or a little best glue ever on my bow and let that dry. I got one more here. And this one has a very distinct front and back, so I'll be careful what I'm doing here. Okay, this one is going to be a 5, 1, 1, 5. You'll have way more than enough ribbon in your kits, guys. There isn't a single one of these that you're not going to have extra for an extra bow. I never want to cut you short, so I tend to put more than you'll need. I figure you won't mind if I do that.
Alice said there's 4 loops in this bow.
Yeah. This one, I'll show it to you up close when we're done, Alice. I'm using the 1/4 inch ribbon, and it gives me a nice full bow to put 4 loops in it. It's got 2 short and 2 long, and it looks great. I'll pull this up and off, tighten it. And pull those little loops out so you can see them. And it just makes a pretty and nice full bow to do that. Show you here.
That's good. Perfect.
Hi, Diane. How you doing? Hope everybody's feeling well today. Okay. A little best glue ever on that. Get that off drying. I'm going to regret putting it on top of my baby wipes. I will move those. Okay, got our best glue ever. Let's take a look at what else we need today. Besides our bow maker, our best glue ever, You should have 2 vials of embossing powder now. You should have your gold detail powder and your clear detail powder. You'll want both of those. You'll want your prism embossing pad. You will want your floral cascade stamp set from before. Hi, Glenda. Welcome, welcome. And we will want our kit for today. And in our kit, we have some stamping card, which we're going to need right away. You got your little labels. Set those off to the side for now. We're going to have some mirror board.
Hey, Debbie.
Excuse me?
My mom said that she got to put up, specifically, my dad put up the craft wall table.
Yay! Excellent. That's good news. Hi, Betty McSorley.
Hey, Mom, did you find your bow maker?
Huh. Betty, if you are having trouble checking out, what I recommend is that it should save your stuff in your cart. Just leave, actually leave Chrome, close Chrome, go back in and reopen it, and it should let you get through checkout, I would think. Try that.
So long as she's signed into her, so long as she's logged into her account.
Yeah, log into your account before you sign out of Chrome. Because otherwise it doesn't realize that you're you. Okay? Try that. Otherwise you'll lose your order. So we don't want you to do that. I don't even have enough places to put everything I want to lay down here. Okay, moving my card. Got more Mirri board. I'm going to put this over with my cards. All right, we need our stamping card. I'm going to move our samples. And let's get this show on the road. I know I said we weren't maybe going to do the blue one, but I think I want to start with the blue one because it is our easiest one. And that one makes some sense to me because it's a nice warm-up card. Let's get our stamp platform moved down here. Let's get our stamps out. Let's see, were these red rubber or clear? They're clear, aren't they? Yeah, they're clear. Okay, so we know that had they been red rubber cling stamps, we would take this pad out. But since they're not, we'll leave it in. And on this one, we're going to use this stamp here, which is marked number 1. Yeah, number 1 stamp. Which seems like a good place to start, doesn't it? When all else fails, start with number 1. Step 1. Put our card down in our nifty jifty stamp platform. If anybody has been waiting for these stamp platforms to come in, they're back in now. We'll link them in the newsletter. I'll link it on the store too in case somebody watching this later is not a newsletter subscriber. I will link you to the stamp platform. These have sold like hotcakes. My last order was for 72 of them and they lasted 2 weeks in Amazon. So I just got another order of them in. Okay, we have our stamp. We made sure that it's correct side up when you lay it down on your paper. You want the flat side facing you. And so the stamping side is going to face my paper. I'm getting my embossing pad. Well, that's interesting. I've gotten something on it. Let's wipe that off. It looks like it got embossing powder on my stamp pad. That's kind of weird looking. I'm going to wipe that off so it doesn't corrupt my image. That's weird. I didn't know I had done that. Well, hopefully it still works good. If it doesn't, we'll be grabbing another one. We'll find out, won't we?
Betty said that she had tried going out. Alice recommended maybe looking to make sure that there was a number that was saying that it was a sufficient number or not.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah, I can help you when we're done too, Betty, but Alice is on the right track. If you have something that's sold out in your cart, unfortunately the cart doesn't tell you that, but it stalls you out. So it's possible that you do have a sold out item. One way you can check for it is to click on each item, go in and look at it and see if it still has a buy now button. So click on each item in your order and then see. Now the reason I'm pushing this down like this, guys, is that this is a very large stamp and it's a lot of stamping area, and to avoid it having any areas that do not, I'm going to hit this a second time just because I had the baby wipe on top and I want to make sure every area gets actually inky. Excuse me. But if you go out and you check each item, you might find that
Debbie, where's your embossing gun?
Oh, that's a good question. It's here on the table.
Okay,
I see it.
Perfect. I'll get it.
You could plug it in for me though if you want. Thank you. Thinking further ahead than I was. Yeah, check each item before you do that, and that probably will help. And if all else fails, call me and I'll help you place the order online. But we can definitely get you sorted out. But I think you're right, Ellis. I think that's probably the problem. So I'm pressing down each area. You don't usually have to do this with stamps, but when you do a great big stamp like this, not a bad idea at all to give it a good pressing all over to make sure you get a good stamped image. Now, this one's going to be in clear. So I'm going to get my pour back sheet here. I was using gold, so I want to make sure there's none on it. I'm going to put this under my image. I'm going to pour my embossing powder over it. I think this part's exciting too, where you see it kind of catching to your image. We've talked about the fact that we get our little thrills from the different stages of this process. I like to watch the powder actually catch to my ink. I know I'm getting a good image. I thought about getting that out and I didn't, so I'm glad you're getting it out. Margie's gonna show us one of our little toys.
Well, I'm seeing the heat gun and I'm not seeing a place for it that's safe. So when you get it hot, so I'm gonna
It can sit here on the table, but yeah, it's a neat toy anyway. We should look at it. I haven't tried it yet, so. Okay, pouring back my extra. Here we go. The magic of embossing. Doesn't matter so much with the clear embossing powder, but remind me in a minute, Margie, to get my powder bag out to do my gold.
Okay.
Remember, when we're heat embossing it, what we want to do is heat emboss it until it changes and then move. You don't want to overcook it anywhere. Because if you overdo it, then you lose that raised effect that we're going for. There we go. Now it's changing.
Can you put your hand over your stamping pad per chance, and that will make it easier for them to see? Thank you.
Margie just reminded me I bought a fun new toy that I haven't even tried yet. It's from Tiffany, something Tiffany.
Totally Tiffany.
Totally Tiffany. And it is a stand. This is a big old stamp, guys. Ooh. It's a stand that you can put your embossing gun into. It goes like this. You flip this handle up, and oops, let's see. No, that's the right way. Maybe I take this clear out for
I think so.
this purpose. Yeah, there we go. Might need a ring adapter though. Let me try it again. I haven't tried this, so we're exploring. Oh, there is a ring adapter in it. There's a ring adapter in the box. Look at us go. This sits over this hole.
It does show you can keep your clamp on.
Huh?
It does show you can keep your clamp on.
Oh, this way. Yeah, this is going to be fine now. I thought we had to go clear down through it, but this should work just fine. But I hold my gun there, and then I can wrap my cord here. Oops. I guess I wrap it before I get too carried away. There we go.
Ring adapter fell out.
Ah.
Your ring adapter fell out.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to see if it, now that I had the clamps on, if it would stay, but it won't. It needs the ring adapter.
Fun of playing with a new toy.
Yeah, new toy. Nothing quite like doing something before I even show you online. Anyway, you know how I was just kind of moving my fingers about trying not to get burned? It also has this to hold your work so you're not getting your fingers fried while you're working. So I'm holding it like this, guys. How cool is that? And it's got a place for brushes and tools and things on it. So anyway, that's the Totally Tiffany. I think we'll just keep it out and try and use it here. And it's got a place to store your work on the end.
Let it cool.
And let it cool. Yeah, we're going to pull it off because it's already had time to cool. But okay, I don't like how wobbly it is, so I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do about getting this
Let me see if I can put
just right in there. But okay, well, so we have our first embossed image. And we actually have two of these we did with this stamp, I believe. Yeah, we did. We had two of these. So let's do another one while we're at it. Get another one of our stamping cards out here. Okay, get some fresh ink. I worry about you guys who are in the schools, Diane. I pray for you. And it's just bad news, that stuff. Okay. Close it, stamp it all the way around the edges. Yeah, it feels like it's too tight with the adapter and too loose without it, so I may come up with my own adapter. That's actually not bad there. If we just position something to hold it. Well, jury rig something, because I think partway down is almost perfect, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Margie's monkeying off screen with the embossing platform, trying to get the heat gun just right in there. I'm going to give it another coat just for the heck of it. I hate that I discolored my pad by getting it into the embossing powder, but these embossing powders kind of stink, you know it?
Don't forget your pounce.
What?
Don't forget to pounce your powder.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're
I
hitting
have
there,
already
so.
done it once, so.
Okay.
It's
You told me to
late.
remind you, so.
No, that's
just
when I
trying
do
to
the
remember.
gold. I don't care about it with the white. With the white, it doesn't matter much. But with the gold, we want to use our powder bag to clear our paper so that when we tap it off, it gets rid of all the stray powder. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pour our powder on here. We have a really exciting thing we're going to do next week. Our friend Roberta introduced me to something really fun looking. Introduced me to something really fun where we're mixing glitter and embossing powder and working once again over napkins. So I'm going to try that this week. She sent me some samples that are absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to try that this week, today or tonight. And if I do well with it, then we are going to have that for our project next week because they're really beautiful. If you can imagine having kind of a glaze over your whole finish with sparkly glitter in it and a fun image underneath, they're just magnificent. So feel free to share ideas, guys. I love that. She said she sent them to me because she thought it'd be a perfect class project. And so far, by looking at it, I am totally intrigued. So, okay, let's pull this back in.
You are fixed.
Oh, look at that. Margie fixed me. Margie is highly mechanical. I am not.
If you turn it the other way, maybe, like,
Yeah. Let me just get in here. And you guys can see what I'm doing.
there you go. Perfect, thank you.
It's nice not to have to worry. One thing I know for sure is it's nice not to have to worry about burning my fingers. Because we've also discussed the fact that not only am I non-mechanical, I'm really rather klutzy. And I gotta say, it is nice not to be worried about my fingers.
Betty says, how dare you not have that brown ribbon? That was the problem with her.
What brown ribbon?
I don't know.
What brown ribbon was that, Betty? What
That
brown?
was the problem with not being able to order. So she fixed the problem.
Oh,
But
okay.
she says, how dare you not have that brown ribbon?
What brown ribbon was it? Was it the grid stuff? Tell me which one it was and I'll get more.
You can't just order one roll of ribbon. You'll get the whole boxes of it.
I know, but I want more of that grid ribbon anyway, that web ribbon, because it's beautiful. Wait till you see what's coming in from Notions.
Oh, joy. So excited. I sound excited.
Okay, there we go. It's beautiful. I think it's fully cooked everywhere. Yeah, it's not any too heavy in some places, but I think it'll be fine anyway. Ooh. It suddenly got really quiet when I took it off. Okay. Get that out of our way again for a minute. Okay, let's do some coloring, guys. So you need your inks out. We're going to start with the blue one because, like I said, it should be easy. And oh, that must be what I used. The nautical blue. Let's see what that is. Yeah. I'm going to mix up my blue a little bit this time. Last time I did it almost all in the May Art Sear Strips Tan, Brown, and Blue Stripes. I actually have more of that. I have more of that to be cut up, so we can get you some of that. I'm going to use some periwinkle here, and because I'm actually going to turn my ink pad upside down, and I'm going to color directly on my paper. I could do it all with a sponge.
Debbie, can you move your inks? They can't
Sorry.
see your work. There you go. Thank you.
I'm actually turning my ink pad upside down and coloring directly on my image. If this were a super dark color, or I was wanting to do, you know, a little more precision, this might not be the best way to go at it. But if I'm liking the idea of having a lot of one color, this is a superb way to go. And I can still take my other pad, my darker pad, and go right over the top if I want to, or if I want to be more precise, then I can. I'm coming clear out to these edges because this is a 6-inch piece of paper and I've given you a 5 7/8 inch card. So we are going to trim some off anyway because we're layering first on our Mirri mat and then on our blue. I'm going to try going right over the top with this stamp pad and see if I like it. I'm going to go a little bit light on it so that I can decide what I want. Now I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm going to clear off. This one's nautical blue and periwinkle. Hey! I don't have your periwinkle on your list of ink pads to have out for today. Hey! Goodness sakes. I'm not sure what my dog thinks he's seeing.
Bob sweeping the deck.
Oh, okay. He's got to go get the broom, guys. I want you to take a baby wipe and very lightly go over the top of your stamped image. And what we're doing, see here, is we are washing off the part we just heat embossed. We're not trying to lift the color from everywhere else. We're just clearing off our clear. We're clearing off our clear, if that makes any sense at all. I'm going to come back in with my dark blue and hit a little bit more because when I picked it up off of my flowers, I picked most of it up and I wanted to have a little bit more on there. Isn't that neat? How that works, it's just creating a resist where the ink doesn't go down in between there. So then I can just pick it back up with my sponge and what I have left is going to be really pretty. Teddy's my virtual puppy, Mary says. I came out today when I got up and Teddy was curled up in Bob's lap and Bob had the biggest smile on his face. He was just a happy, happy guy. He loves that dog. Okay, let's trim it down and see what it looks like. Then I'm going to let it dry a minute because it's getting kind of buckly from the water and the baby wipe. Doesn't help that I'm right at the end of my package of baby wipes, so they're extra soggy. I might grab one out of the other package next time. I know how I can dry it, however. I happen to have a heat gun right there. Trim off some of the extra though and see what we've got. Yeah, I've gotten it soggy enough it doesn't even want to cut on the paper cutter. I might have to let this dry a little before we work with it more. Even pushing against the blade, it still doesn't really want to cut.
It will dry pretty quickly if you use the heating gun on the back side,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trick.
Yeah, I got it pretty soggy there. It was a really wet baby wipe, but look how pretty that's turning out. Isn't that pretty? Okay, hi Samantha. Okay. Oops, let's turn our heat gun on here. Get a little heat to this. Just kind of dry our paper out a little bit. I'm still going to set this one off to the side while I work on the other one. But it is going to flatten out nicely this way. Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side now. And let's get our other one going. Okay, we've already heat embossed our second paper. Really, we did. Right before I put it under the box. Okay, and this time, got lots of powder in my disc here. Get this one before I ever start. Let's get out some different colors. This time, we're going to work on this one. So I'm going to get out this mauve moment. And I'm going to get out some... I'm probably using all different colors, so I told you guys. I try really hard, but you know, I just kind of create. I'm not using anything you don't have. If you've bought all of the kits as we've talked about them, I'm not using anything you don't have, though. We'll use Rainforest. I'm not sure I put Blackberry Currant on there. I could use this. I know I did put Cherry Wood, though. Cherry Walnut. I know I put Cherry Walnut on. Let's use that one. Instead, maybe the Blackberry. This will work. I think these are the ones I actually used. Okay.
What's the lavender?
That's the Mauve Moment.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have Rainforest, Cherry Walnut, and Mauve Moment. Now the Mauve Moment, I can go ahead and put down a pretty good coat of that, because I'm going to pretty much go over it with the other colors. It's my lightest color. So I'm going to draw right on.
Debbie, you have a whole bunch of friends that like to stay up late too.
Well, good. You make it sound like I'm alone in that, Margie. You're kind of a night owl, too.
Oh, I am a night owl. I was just saying there's a whole bunch more.
Margie and I get busy, and it's ridiculous. She'll say, I'm not going to stay late tonight. I'll say, okay. And then we look at the clock and it's
1,
2, and then she says, I'm just going to finish up this card I'm working on, and then it's 4, and then I get a text from her husband saying, is my wife okay? And I can say yes. She's just wrapping up, and then it'll only be another 2 hours. Okay, coming in with my green. This green's a little brighter than what I used. Maybe I used evergreen. I think it's going to be okay, though. We'll see. Sometimes they turn out different. I'm going to come in with my cherry walnut. It may end up being totally different than my last card. We talked about that when you do these background things. Sometimes you get totally different colors.
I love it because it makes it all individual. And
Yeah.
it really shows that you did it by hand.
And when I'm going over that green, I am getting some of those darker colors like we had before. So I know we're on the right track here with our colors. And you'd think that by now I would have learned to write down what colors I'm working with as I do it, but that requires more discipline than I have, and we've talked about my level of personal discipline is not always what it could be. I'm going to come in with some of the darker green, guys. I'm going to come in with the evergreen, because I think that bright green was just too bright, that rainforest. So I'm going to get some of my evergreen out. Let's get some evergreen on here. And then I'm going to get a baby wipe and clean this up just a little bit so I can see what I really have for color. This one's not nearly as wet, so. Isn't that amazing how that just picks up all the ink off the top of the stamping and embossing?
I love how the
It's
green
beautiful.
mixed with the cherry almost kind of gives it a gold color.
Yeah, it's pretty. Okay, gonna come back in with some of this. And this doesn't look right either.
Was it your light green?
Well, I clearly used one of the greens in my box, but this looks darker. I think it'll be okay, but it just... It also might just be, some of it might be letting it dry too. Because I do remember that it dried a lot lighter than it was. We definitely are on the right track with the cherry walnuts, just which green I used. I'm going to set this off and let this dry while we work on our other card. Let's see what color that turns out to be when it dries a little bit. And let's see, what did I do with my other one? It curls as it dried. It's still not dry. I really sopped this one, guys. It's beautiful, though. I love the colors in it. Here's how we're doing. Isn't that pretty? That's beautiful. Okay, I think we'll go right to, since this is still wet too, I think we'll go right to embossing our other sheets, because those will be way more friendly to work with once they're dry. So I'm going to wipe this off. Get to a point where I don't have a bunch of stuff on my sponge. Just going to clean this stamp off with my baby wipe. To me, this is one of the nicest features of having a stamping platform. Not to have to use separate stamp pad cleaner and sprays. You can just wipe it off with a baby wipe. That's marvelous. I'm going to peel off number 1. Let's get number 2 out here. Let's find the cover for this one. And somewhere here has a backer.
I think it's right.
Huh?
Nothing. I thought it was right there, but it wasn't.
I'm going to get number 2 out. I'll just steal the backer off number 2 for now. right. I think a lot of crafters are night owls, don't you guys? I think a lot of us are. I don't know how I got that blue all over there, but that doesn't matter.
You're all weird.
Huh? What?
Said you're all weird.
I'm all weird. Oh, we're all weird as night owls. Brittany gets up to go to work she gets up at 4:30 to be to work at her other job at 6 in the morning in Portland. And so she goes to bed about 8:30 at night. So I'm just coming to life when she's just dying around here in the afternoon. It's always interesting because I've got all this energy and I'm thinking, let's do this and let's do that. And she's saying, I'm going home and going to bed. Don't bug me, woman. Okay, this one is going to be in gold. So this time we are going to want to use, did you get out the powder bag already? No.
I heard a reminder.
Okay,
Not
that's
that
fine.
you needed me to get it.
No, that's okay. It's here.
Here's one.
It's here.
Here's one.
I should have one right here. Well, somewhere. Okay, I'll use yours. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use my Embossing Magic pillow on this one. It's going to have two effects. One is it's going to kind of coat my paper. And two, it's going to take the static electricity off of our paper so that we don't get as much stray embossing powder. It's not as important with a big job like this one as it is if we were doing like words. But it's still a really good tool when you're embossing. That's actually what that stamp pad or that Embossing Magic pad is made initially for. It just has lots of other good uses too. You know that we use it to take the static electricity off of our acetate when we're building shaker cards. I also use it if I have sticky, like I want to take the stickum off of a sticker because it's going to, there's just a few times you need that. Maybe it's hanging over the edge of something and you don't want it sticky backed. I'll take an embossing pillow and deactivate the sticky. So it's a good tool to have for a variety of reasons. You have to be a little bit careful if you're using it to deactivate the sticky on the face of something because it can be white instead of transparent. So you have to be a little bit careful about using it on the face of things, although I have used it on the face to deactivate sticky. It's just something to watch for. And this is the first time I'm using this one in a while, so I'm going to give it a second run. Okay. Whoop. Will you turn that air conditioner on, please?
Okay, here comes the frostbite.
Okay. All right. And I'll get this pressed down good. Again, for the benefit of anybody who wasn't watching earlier, you don't usually have to press down this way on a stamping platform. It's only if you're using a really big stamp like these or like the deer stamp that we did. You have to really make sure that it gets contact everywhere with your paper. For smaller images, you don't have to do that step, but for bigger images, highly recommended. Okay, get my powder back here, get my detail powder. Now I'm using the NUVO Detail Gold. tap it off a little. It's only right around the edges where it's sticking, where my fingerprints are, and where I didn't hit it with the embossing pillow. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. That looks pretty good to start with. Take this and pour it all back in my jar. I don't know if you guys have tried this NUVO yet, but it's a really nice detail powder. Super, super fine granules. So you get really beautiful lines with it. They're little bottles though, so I want to make sure I get every grain I can back in my bottle. Okay. You can still get a lot of stamping out of one bottle though. Okay, let's bring our Totally Tiffany back into view.
Samantha says that you are very therapeutic to watch.
Okay.
And thank you for sharing your talent.
Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate you being out there watching. Gives me a reason to do what I love to do. Were you able to find, what does it say there in Mary's comment? The computer's kind of covering
The
it.
Rose Gold Mirri.
Yes, I linked rose gold. Well, I have a rose gold multi-pack linked in today's newsletter that I sent out to everybody who bought the Crafty Friends Christmas Sparkle. There's a link in there. If you didn't get that yet, it should be because you didn't get that from us, but you'll still get the offer to download that. I'll probably send it out later today. If for everybody else, it's just $5 to download that video. And in that newsletter, there's a link to rose gold. For some reason, it doesn't want to cook right there. That's funny. I have one spot that just doesn't want to cook. I'm going to scorch it. That's interesting. I'll do the rest of it and I'll come back to it. I do like the fact that I don't feel like I'm going to get my fingers using this platform and this clipboard. I like the little paddle concept. I feel like I have a lot of control over it. I just burned my paper because this one corner, ouch, just didn't want to heat emboss. Well, I'm going to do this one over. I just couldn't tell if I wasn't getting a heat to it or if you see, I just burned it in the corner. I could probably use this panel for something else. I'm going to do this again. Paper was hot on the back. Pretty good when you can use a board and still burn your finger.
Smell it.
Huh?
Smell it.
Yeah, it's definitely got some odor. It's odoriferous. Oops, I got bows dragging along behind my platform here. Okay, let's try that again. That was weird. Maybe it just didn't get as much powder there and it wasn't turning color because it didn't, I don't know, because it was already scorching through or something. I don't know. It was weird. We're just going to do it again. When the first time fails, just do it again. hit it again just because I didn't have a lot of powder stick on it that time. So let's just try this again. Maybe I didn't get parts of it inked very well. It was right at the edge. Love, love, love the fact that you can come back with the stamping platform and hit the same area again. Sure I get the sides good this time. I'll find a good use for that little piece that I just heat embossed. I can cut off the bad part and keep the good part. I'll find a good use for it. Okay, here we go. Let's get our gold again. Try it again.
Oh, I gotta move your...
Once we do the free download, can it be opened more than once? Yes. You can go back and get it from there anytime you want. In fact, I've downloaded mine several times because once I'd get it on my computer, I couldn't find it. Because that's what I'm like with computers.
You push the button back too many times.
Yeah, that's probably it. Margie says I pushed the button back too many times. Margie's tried to teach me things on the computer. I drive her crazy. Because I'm impatient, you know, and I want things to work right away. So if it doesn't work right away, then I'm assuming it's not going to do it. And I start hitting the back button and delete and all kinds of stuff. And I pretty much drive her crazy. Oh, a brayer over the top's a great idea, Samantha. I think that's a terrific idea. Thanks for sharing that. That's a wonderful idea. If we're using a big stamp, that would be a great technique for anybody. I love that. Thanks for sharing. Okay, we're trying it again, guys. Let's see how we do this time. There, it's working this time. That's more like it. I just don't think I got enough ink on it in that one spot last time. Oh, that's much better. Much better. Yeah, I like this a lot. That looks really good. Oops, one spot. There we go. Oh, I keep finding little places around the edge I didn't touch. There we go. Beautiful. 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 Okay. Let's do 2 left to go, but this one's the one, this one's this one. Oops, so we're going to try and get these colors, and to do that I want nautical blue, I know I want evergreen with this one, and I want purple. Pash, I think it's called, no, it's called purple violet. Those are my colors this time. And I don't need these for now. And we'll cap this so I don't throw it on the table, because that's something I would do. Spill it. Okay. Let's start by putting down, there really isn't a light color here. I'm going to start with the blue, and then I'm going to come back in with some of the others, because I kind of like the blue purple tones. I'm going to get some good greens in there too. Yeah, I love that blue and that purple combined. That's gorgeous. I want some nice greens in there. And I'm not worrying about going one color over the other. If I want more of a color, I can go back on top with it. Get my fresh baby wipe out here. I do have an area here that's, I'll put blue back into that area. This little area here that's a little lighter. Ooh, love that. Love that! Rich and pretty. And I'm just going in and cleaning up my embossing powder now with my baby wipe. Just literally wiping off the ink. Leave the vibrant, beautiful colors behind. That's gorgeous. It's gonna be gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to cut this down so I can see what I've got. I didn't get this one as saturated. That's good. Yeah, my last one too wet. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty right there. A little different than last time, but equally beautiful. Okay, I do need a little color in my corners. I'm going to come back in with a little bit more. I can't tell which one's which. This is the violet. Come in with a little more violet here and there. And a little more blue here and there. Now you can see, guys, as this is drying, that the colors are changing a little bit. Can you see that from where you are? I don't know if you can tell that. See how it's changing? And it's softening out more like this one as it dries. I have to take my baby wipe back in a little bit though, because I put more ink on it, so just go across it briefly. Now, let's see, when I mounted this, let's put the right caps on the right one, shall we? That's always
you
nice.
You can have a surprise next time.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen too. I'd go, oh, what happened there?
Surprise!
Okay, I want to cut this down to where it is 3.5 inches wide. So I still have just a little bit of trimming to do. just a little. Not much. And how wide do I want this? I want this to be 5 inches, 3.5 by 5. So I have a little trimming to do on this side too. Once again, my wet paper's getting in the way of my cutter wanting to cut through. Well, 3.5. There we go. 3.5 by 5. I'm going to get my Purple Mirri out. And I'm going to cut this in half. It's currently a full sheet, so it should be just about 4, just a little over 4, between 4 and 1/4. Should cut it in half. So I need 2 pieces. And I'm going to look at that together. Isn't that beautiful? Ooh, love that. Wow, what a piece of Mirri does for something, huh? Okay. Tape. I may have to glue this, I'm not sure. I'm going to try taping it, but I might have to glue it because of the dampness. We'll find out. Because sometimes tape doesn't want to hold to damp paper. See if it's going to hold. I think so. Okay. What happened if I put my color on first, then embossed it, and I wouldn't have to go over my flowers with the wet Linda? That would work. You could absolutely do that, Linda. You may find that your colors change a little bit from the heat, but that's okay. You end up having interesting and neat discoveries. But you absolutely could do that. Okay, I only want a tiny, tiny border on this one. See that? I wanted a fairly bold gold border around the outside. I might make mine just a little bit bigger just to be different. Because, you guys know I do that. But I'm still going to go with a pretty narrow border. Go ahead and cut this off. You could trim it with your trimmer if you wanted to. Boy, I love that Purple Mirri on there. That's beautiful. Of course, I have to confess, it is purple, therefore I will think it's beautiful. Because that's who I am.
Debbie, if you did the ink on the paper first before embossing, you'd have to make sure the ink is dry before you try to emboss it. And you still have to use the powder pounce over the top of the ink.
Yes, I think so. Margie just asked if you put the ink on first, you would have to make sure the ink was dry before you embossed it. I'm not sure how much difference that's going to make, but maybe a little. But the powder pouncer I still think is going to be a good idea with the gold. I do think so. Because the powder pouncer just keeps the gold from going places you don't want it to go. And once you've embossed it, you're stuck with it. That's a really good idea, though, Glenda. I think you should try it. I think that's a marvelous idea. There's no set order to some of this stuff. So it's just checking it out. You going on vacation, Alice? Is that what I'm reading there?
To North Carolina for a few days.
Oh, wow.
3 days.
Neat. I want a vacation. I won't go yet, but I want a vacation. I want to see my daughter.
You were going to go. You
I know.
all plans.
I had it all planned in May. And then COVID happened. I want to go see Boston, and I want to go to Jordan's house and hang with her for a week, and I want to see New York, and yeah, someday I will, but I want to go when I can really enjoy it and not have to worry about everything, so I will stay home for now. Okay, just covered my card with my gold mirror board, and then flip it over and trim my A6 Mirri back just a little bit to fit my A6 card. I love the fact that they make it slightly larger. That makes it not so particular when you put it down. It's easier to match. Now before I do this, I need to attach my green bow. What happened to me when I moved all of my bows over there? I got them all in a pile. Okay, so I'm going to put my green bow on. I'm going to tighten this just a little. Rearrange my petals just a little. And then I'm going to come across here. Come on, stick down there. Should have put some tape on this before I started rolling it along there, and I didn't. I'm going to put just a little tape on this side, yeah, because I don't have enough best glue ever to hold the, I didn't put the best glue ever down the sides here. So I need to get some tape on here to help me hold it in place. Irregular finger lift tape is narrow enough to do this, though. If you get any tape that's showing from the front, just take your finger and roll it onto the back. You come up here, get a little finger lift tape on this side too. Go. I usually do this first. I don't know why I didn't do it this time. Put my finger lift tape on before I put my best glue ever down. I don't know why I didn't do it. Distracted.
You were tying lots of bows.
Yeah, I was tying lots of bows. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now it should work nicely. I'll straighten up my bow a little bit once I get it on. Pulling my little loops out again. And my loops got longer than the other one during this process. Here we go. Here we go. I'll fix it a little. There we go. Okay. Trim this off. Trim this off. Leftover tape on my arm. Come on. Why aren't you cooperating? Get over there and stay there. Okay. I still don't like the way you look. Come on. There we go. That would have bugged me. There we go. Alright. I'm going to put this right here. And it's going to look marvelous.
Big.
Excuse me?
You've got a couple questions.
Debbie, you'll love New England. Maybe you can get to the ocean when you go to Connecticut. They live in Groton, so yeah, I think so. Isn't that right on the ocean? Or on a harbor or something? I haven't ever been there, so I don't know. But yeah, my glue bottle. I
My
can
mom
take
has
it.
a question for you while I look for the glue.
Okay. Is using the tape better than glue when putting on the ribbon? Yes. I believe that tape is so much better than, thank you. I believe the tape is much better for putting on your ribbon than a glue bottle. I'll tell you why, Glenda, because the glue
I think she's talking about the best glue ever.
I used the best glue ever on my bow already. I use tape on the straight parts of my bow. You don't want any glue to be saturating through your ribbon when you're putting it on. So I put the best glue ever on in the bulkier part of the ribbon in the back, and then I use tape on the edges when I go to put those on. I hope that makes some sense. Okay, we need to put our tag on it. And I've got my little baggie of tags here. The tags will all be different. They'll all be pretty. This one says Bon Voyage will be missed. Occasionally we need one of those. Here, I got some shaker tape here. This is fine. It'll get the job done. I had my foam squares in the house putting together the magical Christmas cards. I'm about a third of the way done with that. So we'll have that in a couple weeks. Okay. If you don't like the tags I sent in your kit, just substitute out for something else. Mary, you had asked for sister tags. I only had one, but I did put it in a kit with your name on it, so I did send you the one sister tag that I had. Okay, there we go. This one's done. I love this. This is beautiful.
So pretty.
There we go. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? Love it. Love it. Okay, that one's done. Next, let's grab one of the ones that we had finished. Thank you.
One's still wet.
This one's pretty good now. It's a little damp. That first one's still a little damp, believe it or not. I really saturated that with some water. This one's fine. Let's do this one. Let me check my colors now. Actually, my colors are drying into almost the same color. See that? Isn't that interesting? Interesting. Oh, I think I just put the wrong tag on that. Oh well, I can change. I'm adaptable. I just put my red tag on my last card, and it was supposed to get the gold one, but I'll put the gold one on this one. I think it was pretty there. Let's use this one next. So we know we want it to be 4 or 3.5 for this piece, wasn't it? 3.5. Uh-oh, did I just trim that uneven? No, I just trimmed some off, but it looks good. Trim that off. And I'm going to make this a little narrower this time, which is fine. Doesn't matter. I can do that. This time, I actually mounted this one on a piece of white cardstock. That was my trim for this one. So we'll get another piece of our stamping card out. And I actually trimmed this one in the white, just because I thought it looked neat to do that. So let's do this. Isn't it cool, guys, how we are being able to use that same stamp set in a totally different way? And they're beautiful, aren't they? I love them. I think they're great. What type of paper did I do the embossing and inking on? I used the Essential Paper Pads. Actually, I have one right here. I use these from Hunky Dory. They are, yeah, it's called the Essential Card Pad, and this is what I use. They come in 8-inch and 6-inch, so they're perfect for our class supplies, and that's what I use for all of the inking projects I've given you guys to do. These are wonderful for inking and stamping applications. It's called the Essential Card Block. And again, they come in 6 inches and 8 inches. I like to use my materials in different ways, Alice. You know, that's why I like having our kit that we're building together, because we're using those same materials over and over and over again, and we're adding to it, but it ends not being terribly expensive because we keep using some of the same supplies over and over and over again. So, you know, because getting a kit built, you know, the basic kit built for any craft can be expensive, but this way we've been able to just get what we need at the time and then just keep building it, and I like that. I think that's fun. I need to see if this is kind of fit when I get all done with it. I am probably overdoing this border a bit. I think I'm going to have to come in on this border a little bit, because it's just barely going to fit my gold. Yeah, I'm going to have to come in a little bit. Make that white border really small, because I think I made my base border wider. My base wider. But we're adaptable. We can trim this down. Still let our Mirri show. I may trim the end off my card a little bit so that my borders are more even when I'm done.
Betty would like to know if you can put shimmer ink over the top.
I don't know, but I think, oh, to spray it on? To do the color? Yes, I'm sure you could. You want to try it? We can, well, let's see. Well, we could try it. I have some here. I actually have a spritzer in this. I have a spritzer in this kit. We can try right in here.
Oh. You could use it on
I
your
used
glue.
it. Yeah. I'm certain you could, but let's try it. I'm not sure I want to do it over this one because this one's already so wet. I'm not positive that isn't what I did, actually, now that you say that. I think maybe I did that. I should have remembered it if I did, but... yeah, we'll do it. When you get too wet, the dye color you use is the heat tool on the back of your card. Yeah. Yeah. We can definitely use our heat gun to dry it off some more. I dried it some, but I didn't want it to wrinkle too much, so I kind of dried it and left it, and then we'll dry it some more when we're finished here. Let's do let's do the shimmer ink thing. I think that's really fun. Let's try it. And again, that's something you guys already have in your kits. You already have the blue because we sent it to you for something. I don't remember what project we were working on.
His background.
Would you get my box over there, Margie? It's over by the window. I can be just over that way. I can be horrible
your spray box.
with spray applications. I mean, you guys know I'm messy anyway. We've talked about that. But if I'm spraying, man, I can get it everywhere. So I have to use a spray box because it'll be over there all over poor Margie and probably Brittany, who's down at the end of the table. I'd get some on her too. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. That's nice. That looks good. Let's put a bow on it. Tied to this one for this card. Need to put my tape on it before I put it down. There we go. That was a really good suggestion, Glenda. Yeah, you absolutely can do that. Okay, put a little bit more tape on here. Yeah, I think with the shimmer sprays you could even use more than one color if you wanted to. We'll just do it exactly the same way. It's really like putting an ink pad to it. It's just in liquid form, so I'm certain it'll work. Okay. Take my bow. Wrap it around the edge. Nope, don't like that. It's got to be tighter. Come on. I get that tape on there and try and cut around it. Go. So that's enough for another bow there. I don't think I need to cut that down. I actually think that looks quite pretty. Let's put a tag on it. I think this one gets the all gold one this time since I put the one that went with this one on the purple card a second ago. That's okay. We're highly adaptable. Okay, what we'll end up not doing, we can go ahead and make the card, but what we will end up not doing is finishing coloring our detail card today. But that's fine, you guys know how to color. Will show you what I did to get those really subtle colors on that card, just so you know what you can do. I probably this time will color mine with watercolor markers or watercolor pencils because it took a long time to do it the way I did it last time. But I want to show you what I did last time just so you know your options. But we'll end up not taking the time to color that one. We'll put it all together and we'll color it later. These tags, I like to shove them up under the bow as if they're attached, even though they're not attached. You know, they're attached to foam squares. It just makes them look pretty. Makes it look fancy schmancy. There we go. Here's our original. Here's this one. We ended up with colors that were very, very similar. Do you see that? Even though, here, let me get down a little lower. I feel like I need to crawl down. There we go. We ended up with colors that were very similar this time. I did like the red tag on it, but I used it, so there we go. All right, we got 2 left to finish, but I want to do one. Let's do some embossing, and let's try that spritzing technique. And then we need to do, we'll do that spritzing technique with this same pattern, shall we? Let's do that. And then we'll change and we'll do our detail card with our number 3 die. So you will have all kinds of uses for this stamp set. Let's get some powder on here. You want clear or gold? You guys pick for our spritzing card. Clear or gold? We'll spritz in blue since that's what I have sitting here. Clear. Anybody else got a vote? Clear's less particular. That's good with me. Give it one more coat. You should have plenty of ribbon in your kit to tie an extra bow too if you guys want to do this same card when we're done with it. I think you'll have enough.
White.
Yeah, I think we have enough white there to tie in. I'm sure we do. That we could at least tie a double. Okay. Let's get our powder out here. You guys know we're starting early on Saturday, right? Saturday we're doing Halloween cards, and they're not difficult at all to do. In fact, this is a project that's highly recommended for working with kids. If you have kids in your life to pull into that project, they'll really, really enjoy it. They are going to need some parental help, parental or adult help, because there's some, like covering the card with Mirri and some of that's going to need an adult. But constructing the layers of the cards, putting the stickers down, that kind of thing, kids are going to love that. Speaking of which, where's Kim today? We haven't seen Kim today. I guess she's entitled to have a life. Oops, I just got powder everywhere. You guys saw that, right? Oh well, that's how I got embossing powder on my pad. I guarantee it. I pulled one of those shenanigans right there. No, the only reason I used glue was because it's fast. And I don't have to use my tape flags that way because I can kind of slide it around a little bit, Glenda. That's the only reason I was using tape or glue instead of tape. The tape sticks really well to the air board actually. Just in the interest of ease. Once the tape sticks down, it's stuck forever, so I would need to use tape flags or glue. I can move it. Okay, this time we're going to do our spritzing technique on this one. I love that you ask about that, because we have that in our kits. You guys probably can't see this clear turning on camera, but I think I might actually leave my embossing gun set up on this thing. I like this. I don't currently have these in the store. If anybody wants one, let me know and I'll get it for you. I can get it from a local wholesaler, so I can get them fast. But it's a pretty cool device. What? Is Brittany complaining about me ordering again? What's that? What that was?
I said you hate me.
Oh. I don't, Brittany. I love you. I love you, Brittany. Okay, let's get our spritzer out here. Didn't I just have it? What did I do with it? Did I? Oh, I just dropped it back in the box. Okay, when you use these spritzers, be sure you shake, 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 shake every time. Super important that we shake it. Shake it up, shake it up. I won't sing to you anymore. I value your viewership and I won't do that to you. This should be interesting. I'm going to spray left-handed so you can see. Got lots of little splashes of color there. I think what I'll do is take that out. And we will use, what will we use? Let's use a napkin. So we're actually picking up moisture instead of adding it. Nope, it's not going to work to clear off. I'm gonna still gonna have to use a baby wipe to clean off our embossing powder. Oh, there it is. I thought, where is it? You must have some pattern there somewhere. Ooh, it's pretty. Look as it's coming up, guys. See that? The other thing that the baby wipe is doing is kind of moving the color about a little bit. See that? It's kind of moving the color. We do still have a lot of color right on top of the baby wipe, and it's actually, as I'm trying to take the color off of that, I'm actually taking it off of my card too, which is a little troublesome. Oh, yeah, and if I rub it, it's picking up. So I think the answer is yes, we can do it. However, it's going to be more ghosted, which is fine. It's pretty. We can get this in where you can see what I'm talking about. This looks okay, but it's going to be more blue on top.
Down for Debbie.
This looks okay, but it's going to be blue on top. See that? Well, I got to get in where I can show you. There we go. Finally. See how it's blue here? And it's going to stay blue, or you pick up your spritzing color when you wipe it off. So if that's okay, I think the answer is yes, you could use it, but it...
Or use it before you emboss?
Maybe.
Can you? I mean, because it's got a different...
I don't know. You could try that. Margie's recommended, like Linda said a minute ago, and put the color on before you emboss it.
But
that's not going to work.
A paste to it almost.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I don't know.
Because then you wouldn't have white underneath. You know, if you sprayed it on first, you would have
Yeah,
blue
'cause
on
it's
blue.
clear.
Yeah, that won't work.
With
So-
gold, it would work. Maybe.
So, maybe we might get a different result if we let it dry before we clean off the flowers. I'm going to spray this a little bit more. And I'm going to take the cap off before I spray it. There's a thought, huh? I'm going to spray it a little bit more to get some color back on where I lifted it off. And then I'm going to recommend that I'm going to move the color around and just make it a little bit more even. But I'm not going to really try and lift the color off. I'm going to wait until it dries. And then we'll try and clean off the flowers and see what we get. Because it's kind of a mess right now. But it's worth, you know, I love to try stuff. And it's not always going to work. But you got to try stuff. A big area in the middle that still didn't have any ink, so I was trying to put some ink on that. So far, I'm saying I think ink pads work better. But, you know, let's let that dry a minute and see if it makes a difference if we let it dry a bit before we try and take it off of the You know, I'm always game for trying something new, guys.
Just a reminder, you're at 1:45.
Okay, we're still good. We're still good for time. We've been on an hour and 45 minutes, so I think we're doing okay. All right, next up, we are going to, I'm going to clean some of this powder off that I spilled. What a mess. My ruler worked good for that. I feel like a waiter in a fine restaurant with their
There you
little
go.
crumb sweeper. That's better. Okay, it makes terrible sound though. Sorry about that. But, you know, and a fingernail on blackboard kind of effect for you there. All right, got my stamp claps on too.
Just tie it everywhere.
I'm messy. I told you. You know, I'm unapologetically messy. I'm gonna clean this stamp off. We can put it away and we'll get our detail stamp out. Now with our detail, it's going to be really important to use our powder bag on that. Because we have all those fine lines, of course, like you have in writing. And anytime you're doing writing, it's a good idea to use a powder bag if you have one. If you don't have one, save up, grab one of those because those are a tool worth having. Okay, gonna take this one. We have a cover here somewhere. There we go. How you doing down there, Brittany?
I'm crazy.
What's the favorite thing you've listed?
I like the new owl kit.
Oh, we got the owls in.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Oh, the
Amazing Owls by Amy Design.
Amazing Owls by Amy Design. Maybe you can show us that one in What's New Wednesday. You know what happened when we didn't do What's New Wednesday last week? Bryce and I forgot.
Whoops.
Yes. And so in the middle of the night, Bryce was long since asleep.
No.
I thought, what's today? And I looked at the calendar and it said Wednesday, and I thought, uh-oh, we didn't film a video. So I did what I could in the newsletter and then said, when he got up, I said, when are we going to do that? Hoping he'd say, well, let's just run out and film it. Nope. He said, I'm off at 4. So you got your What's New Wednesday really late, because that's what happens when you leave these things to me. Oops. So hopefully Brittany will have time to do What's New Wednesday this week.
I figured maybe Bryce and I
Oh,
can do
you know
it
what I just forgot to do, guys? I forgot to put my bag down.
before I start.
My duster. You were probably thinking, did you forget? Yes, I forgot. Of course I forgot. Leave me to my own devices. You know what I'll do? I'll make an extra one and I'll do both, just in case. Just in case. That's a card, though. Get a piece out of here. Okay. So I'm going to ink this again. I'll try and shake it off really good and tap it off. Here we go. This time we're doing the fine lines. If we were layering these, this would be the final layer. The one that kind of looks like daisies, or what are the flowers? And is it asters that are kind of have daisy-like petals that are fall flowers, or mums?
There's dahlias and there's mums.
Okay. I don't know my flowers at all.
And asters.
Did I do that twice already? I think I did, didn't I?
I believe that's number 2.
Okay.
Unless you switched papers while I was.
Well, that could have happened. Okay. Yes, I did. I put Britt's Bargain in the store as soon as I realized what I had done, because I knew some of you would be looking for it. Well, that's not too bad. That turned out good. We'll do that one in a minute. I actually don't think we're going to have to do a second one. I think that turned out okay. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of oil on my fingers or anything today, because I've been handling these baby wipes constantly, so I think we could go ahead and use that. Let me go ahead and clean that off while it's still wet. I'll go ahead and bake this one. Lift that up. All right.
That's warm. Brittany and I have decided that you do not get to wear that pink thermal shirt anymore.
No.
Oh, Brittany. You can turn it down if you guys are absolutely dying. Go ahead.
Are you okay?
No, but I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
No, it's okay. You guys just have to put up with me in a small space. You can go ahead and turn it down. Both Margie and I got this thermal shirt on again because I had a different shirt on, and Margie said, "Do you realize you have a stain right on the front of your shirt?" And I said, "No." And I looked down and there was. It came right out of the wash, but obviously I didn't wash the stain out of it. So I went and changed my clothes, put this thermal shirt back on, and of course the thermal is really warm, and I run warm anyway. So Margie and Brittany are absolutely freezing in here. Margie's sure she's got frostbite. Brittany's dressed up in a parka with the hood up.
It went up.
Hi, Annette.
Betty says that's what happens when you're hot stuff.
What's that?
Betty says that's what happens when you're hot stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then Mary was worried on Wednesday that you were feeling under the weather. And she's glad that you're not.
No, I'm definitely not under the weather. I'm good. I just have a really high body thermostat, and so I really don't need this insulated shirt unless it's like 20 below outside, which it never gets to that here. Okay, I promised you that with this one I was going to show you what I did to color this. And it's a slow process, so there's maybe other methods that are better, but you know, if you're on vacation, you have your stuff and you don't have all your markers and things, it is possible to color.
You're looking for your water pen. It's around right by your purple scissors and the purple green ones, right?
There we go. You don't have everything with you. You can use your stamp pads to color with. And that's what I did to make our final card sample of the day. When I did this one, I got these really soft colors by using my stamping pads and just lifting ink and putting them on with a water marker. I was worried about getting it too high. As it turned out, it was way too low. Let's hold it up there further. There we go. So that's how I got those really subtle colors in this. So I can, let's see, I need my yellow too.
So you have mauve, periwinkle, and...
Actually, I think I used the ice blue instead of the periwinkle, but the ice blue was so very light that it took a lot of coats to get it on. But see here, the yellow goes on really nicely. And I'm just using a water marker right into my pads. Why? Because it's water-based ink. So you can use your stamp pads. I mean, we've stamped with them. We have used them and actually used a blender with them. We have used them like we did today, where you just literally rub right onto your design. And now you're seeing that you can also use these with a paintbrush or a water pen to pick up color. So I'm not going to color all of this. I think that we will go ahead and assemble our card, but I can color it later. But that's how I did this one. I just dipped right into my stamp pads and picked up color. Pretty cool to have one tool like that that you can use for so many purposes though, huh? Some of this may not be new to all of you or new to any of you, but sometimes it's just relearning what we already knew to be true. You know, we kind of forget techniques over time. So There we go.
And if you forgot your inks, you could do it with markers on your mat.
Yes, you absolutely
with your water
could.
pen.
Yeah, Margie's saying if you had your markers but you didn't have your ink pads, you could do exactly the same thing by putting marker or colored pencil even down on your mat and picking it up with a paintbrush or a water pen. Absolutely true. Okay. So I'm going to trim this one. Oh, this one I actually fussy cut. And it's not that bad, guys. It's actually fairly easy to fussy cut. I'm going to give it to Margie while I do, because I think I'm about the only one working at one time today. It doesn't sound like anybody else got their kits yet. I'll have Margie cut this out while I work on this blue card. How's that sound? Okay? Thank you. And let's bring this blue one back in, which is finally pretty dry. I do love the way this one turned out. I think it's beautiful. I have Rainbow Mirri to go behind this one. I almost wish I had grabbed blue or purple for this one, because that would be pretty, but this is going to be pretty anyway. I love that, actually. Okay, so let's put this down. Let's see, what do I want to use? I'm trying to decide the best adhesive to use for this. I'm a little reluctant to use anything with water. I think I better use my tape. Well, I'm glad you're here for a little Simply Special Therapy, Annette. Okay, so let's put, again, we already trimmed this one. What did we trim it to, though? Did we trim it to the right size? That's a little over 3.5. And a little over 5. Let's trim it down just a little bit more. Let's see. Let's go to 3.5. 5. I hate to cut any off it. It's really pretty. My bow's sticking to my fingers. That's a good sign, I guess. It's sticky. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on here. I'm going to put 3 good rows of adhesive on this so it doesn't buckle at all in the middle. You guys think that sounds fun, doing that embossing powder with glitter in it? I think I'll go ahead and suppose, you know, your vial of NUVO detail embossing powder is pretty small, so I think what I'll do is I will go ahead and pre-mix our glitter and our embossing powder. I'll tell you what the recipe is, but for the kits for next week, I think I'll go ahead and use, I have some big jars of WOW clear embossing powder. I don't think it needs to be the super fine stuff that we're using now and for the technique that we're using. So I'll go ahead and pre-mix those and send out packets to you so you don't have to use up your really good stuff where we're using a lot of it, you know. And I have plenty of jars of that WOW to mix up good supplies for you. Forewarned is forearmed, though. Thank you to the person who told me that their packet came open. Their glitter packet came open in the thing. So if we have a nice full packet of powder we're sending you, we will double bag. Oops. Sorry. How's that gonna look? That looks beautiful. Beautiful. I do think I'm gonna trim down my card a little bit. I didn't have to take any off the edge. I should have held it up to my card before I did that. So I think I'll trim my card down to maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. Because I don't want a big, bold white accent around it. I just want a white accent around it. Let's see how this looks. That's just right. That's gonna look good. Okay, we'll put our white on here. And I said I was gonna have to wrap my white because I trimmed it off. Because sometimes I'm goofy.
That's the small one that I made for the extra blue one.
What did they do with that extra white?
That's the extra white. I'd already made a bow for this one.
Oh, okay.
I was
Got
trying
it.
to jump ahead for you.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put... Don't need an awful lot of ribbon here. Okay. And if you're wondering about the adhesive under this fine organza, yes, it will show a little bit, not much. It will show a tiny bit, but my bow's going to cover most of it. So I'm not at all worried about adhesive showing. I'll show you here in a sec. We'll get away with that just fine. Trim this back away from the edge on the back. That wasn't as straight as I wanted, so I just peeled it up and straightened it. Okay. And we've got best glue ever on here, so this should hold nicely. And I have 2 tags left. Now, the way that my tails and stuff end up here, I'm not sure I like this up here, but I think it'll look just great down here, so I'm going to move it down here this time. Then I'll give you a good close-up of our finished project. Put a little taper glue on the back here. A little pendant ribbon. And here's a close-up of our finished project. That look pretty? It almost looks cloudy in the background, and then that really fluffy bow. That's just so pretty. That organza is just amazing. It really does give just such a soft look. Now this time I have very different colors. I almost think I did use a lot more color on this one. But I really like the way this one turned out too. I like them both for very different reasons. Oh, I didn't put this on my card yet. Duh. Okay, there we go. There we go. I just realized, wait a minute. But aren't they pretty? Okay. Let's pop this on here real quick so it's done. Thank you guys who are leaving feedback on products, reviews for your fellow crafters. I really, really appreciate that you're doing that. How are you doing, Margie? Did you get it?
It would take quite a bit of work, or maybe a thicker layer of embossing.
How about
for this to work.
the cutout one?
Oh, that one's right in front of you.
Oh, it's in front of my nose. Margie was trying to work on the blue to see if we let it dry first, would it clean off? It's not cleaning off very well. So I think that the answer would be maybe with some practice, the spray would work just fine, but our experiment here was largely unsuccessful. But now we know. And how do you know unless you try? So we're going to go ahead and put this one down on our card. Let me measure and see how long I left this one. This one was at 5 1/4. This one is at 5 1/4. So that's good. I'll go ahead and put my bow on here. And then I'll color around it later. And I'm just stretching my, whoops, it'd work better if I put the tape on the back. Stretching my ribbon from end to end on this one. I covered up some of my best glue there to kind of pull that back a little bit. Let my best glue show. You don't actually have to put best glue on ribbons that are being held down by the border pieces. I often do both, but you don't have to have best glue if you have these side pieces to hold things in place good. Now what would you do if your wraparound piece was heavy, like burlap or crocheted ribbon? That's awesome, Mary. Thank you. What would you do if you had heavy ribbon? I have a little piece of this little petal right here, a little loop on my bow, doesn't want to stay down where I want it. Would fabric glue or tacky glue work? My recommendation is that's it, Annette. Put it up on some foam squares. You win the prize. You put it up on some foam squares so that you don't have any bulky edge under your card. Just lift this entire, if this were a heavier ribbon, I'd lift this entire piece up so that when I put it on my card, it doesn't, there's no bulkiness over here at all, right underneath. Just set the whole thing up on foam squares and look perfectly natural. That's the answer. Good job. Good job, good job. All right, somewhere here I have a piece of mirror board left and a card. There's a blank card. There's my mirror board. Now I need my gold mirror. Should have a gold mirror board too. Hope I put the right number in your kits. If I ever miss something like that, you guys should rest assured, because if I missed it, you didn't get charged for it, because I make my list first and then I calculate the charges. So if I ever miss something like that, I don't want you to feel like you got cheated. It just, you never got charged for it. I'm kind of thinking I missed a piece of mirror board in my kit this time. I don't know why I'm missing a card too, though. I know I packed these kits for 4 cards. Well, I need a A6 card and a piece of, here's my, I can use this for Mirri. I may just have lost it in my stack here. Whew. Now, I told you about that, but we don't have to put this up on foam squares at all because this doesn't have any bulk at all to that satin ribbon. We have one there.
I think we've run through a good portion of the
I probably ran them into the house where I was making my cards. I need a European A6 card to
How about
finish.
if I hand you a 5x7 and just cut it?
I can cut it down. That works. Thank you.
I'm sure there's something
We're
somewhere.
adaptable. Okay. Well, right after I cut it, you'll find it.
Yeah,
But that's
how
okay.
it works.
This is 4 1/8.
Here it is. Wait, don't get it. I beat you.
Okay.
Beat you to it.
Thank
Okay.
you. Sorry. Didn't mean to stress you out there.
Oh, not stressing out. Just trying to hurry.
Okay. All right. We'll cover a European A6. You like to play bingo, Annette? You do a lot of that? I had an uncle who played bingo a lot. An uncle and his wife. They worked down in Las Vegas. No, they didn't. They lived down in, what's that little town? It's a little town. It's probably not little anymore.
Reno.
And where?
My guess is Reno, but I don't know where.
No,
it
not
actually
Reno.
is.
The what was that place? Boy, I haven't been there forever and forever and forever. That little gambling town. It was newer than those ones, but it's probably big now. Anyway, they lived in that town and they shared one job in a hotel. They were retired and they shared one job in a hotel so they could both play bingo every day. And that's what they did. They worked on their job and they played bingo. And they loved their life. They had a lot of fun. Okay, with this one, we're going to cut our purple mirror down just a little. We're going to make it 3 1/8 by 5 1/4.
I think, Debbie, if you took mica powder and added it with water and left the paste part out of your shimmer, I think it would wipe down really nice and neat. But because it's got that sticky paste to it, I just can't get it off very
I
well.
think I just cut my purple to the wrong size. I just measured that, but it just doesn't look right. 3 1/8. Oh, that's because it was 3 3/4. Let's try that again. I haven't done this for a while, guys. Mismeasured. It was time. 3 3/4 by 5. By 5 1/2. Okay, by 5 1/2. Okay, there we go. That looks better. That looks better. Okay, we're going to put this one down to our mirror board, kind of center it on there, and then we're going to put this at just a slight angle. We don't want to angle it so much it won't fit in our card, but we do want to angle it enough to just look different. Because why not? So I'm going to glue this down. I knew today wouldn't take too long to do all of these that we're doing. Just fun and different though, isn't it? I like this project. I've been really looking forward to this one because I think this was a lot of fun to do these resist cards. Remember when you're working with Mirror Board and glue, if you get glue on the Mirri, don't panic. Just use a damp cloth or a baby wipe and wash it off and dry it off and it'll all be fine. Don't leave it there because it looks icky when it dries. It really reflects the glue on Mirror Board, but you can use a baby wipe and then wipe it right off. And what cards were you guys working on?
Bingo.
Oh, bingo cards. Oh, boy. My uncle and his wife used to do that, too. They'd play lots of cards at a time. And, man, they won a lot of stuff over time. They won a car. They won like $10,000 or $20,000 several times. Of course, if they were gambling enough that who knows how much they spent to get to that. But I know they had a lot of fun at it, and the way they did it, they could afford to do it. So there we go. So this one still needs to be finished with the coloring, but it's pretty, isn't it? Very different. Oops, I didn't put my tag on it. Over here, I had one tag left. This one said, "Get well wishes" on it.
That kind of works really nice with a little daisy, sending them flowers.
Yeah. And I'll just glue it this time. This one isn't that high. This bow's kind of flat. You should see my kitchen table. Did I tell you that? I'm not sure if I told you that. I know I told you I've been working on the bow kits. Did I tell you that I started wrapping presents to show my bows off? And when I was wrapping them upstairs, I realized I didn't have any Scotch tape upstairs, but I'd been working on cards, so I used my finger lift tape. And it worked great for wrapping presents because what I would do is I put my tape down, my double stick tape down on the inside of the flap, and when I got done I had no tape at all showing on my box, and it looks beautiful. I'm going to wrap my presents that way this year.
And the bows that you're working on are beautiful, and some of them have really pretty ribbon.
Yes. So by next class, hopefully, if our ribbon selection has arrived, I'll show you what I've come up with. And it's going to be really, really pretty. So we did not 3 but 4 cards today. Let's take a second look at what we did, and then I'll show you what's coming up and let you guys go. So we did these 2. We did these 2. And I think they are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very fun. And what's coming up on Saturday is Halloween cards. Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking forward to these too. These were great fun to make. They really were. Once again, fun to do something totally different. I don't usually get really into Halloween, but I really had fun making these cards. We got our spider. We got our rat with the cheese. We got our mean cat with the pumpkin. We got our ghosty and the pumpkin and the pumpkins. We got bats.
Diane wants to know about the ribbons for the Christmas bow making for the bigger. Is that using the bow maker?
We're going to use the big embellishment addict. No, that's not true. We're going to use the We Are Memory Keepers, the great big comb. That's what we're going to use. It's like $10. And we are going to use both wired and satin ribbon. So wired and unwired ribbon. And all the bows we tie are going to be on that bow maker. And I have several different styles for each kind of ribbon. Skeleton. He cracks me up, the skeleton, with his cupcake and all his stash. The ghost in the chest. And the owl. So very fun. Very, very fun cards. My husband's already claimed these. He said, "When are you doing the Halloween class?" I said, "Saturday." He said, "Good. When you're done, I get the cards." He has plans for them. Okay. He hasn't laid claim to any of my cards before, so I thought that was pretty fun, actually, that he wanted them. And then next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're doing these beautiful sunflower cards. I love this one. This is the first time I've ever made this card design, and I totally love this. It took 2 whole sheets of, yes, it is included in the kit. 2 full sheets of our background card to make this one card, but it is beautiful. I love the pop-out feature. It's just gorgeous. So this one, and this one, these 2 came from one kit. I added this background paper, the glitter, the red glitter paper, because we used all the background paper. But I love this, Hello Sunshine. I have lots of people I would send that to. I love the way this card turned out. Margie helped with the design on this one because I was struggling with this odd size tag and all those little bubbles to come up with something, and I think we came up with something great. And then these are the second card kit we're including. So once again, next week we're starting early too because we have 6 cards to make. So we've got that one. We've got this one. We've got this one.
Down just a tad.
Excuse me, down just a tad. Got this one. And we've got our tiny butterflies shaker. I hope whoever was asking about the tiny butterflies got them because they are now sold out. As soon as I start showing something like this, those items go. So they are all sold out now, but we still have them in the kit. Okay, so that's what we have coming up over the next week. I'm working on the bow class. I'm working on a what's it called? A Magical Christmas Deco Large. I'm working on that one right now. And tonight I'm starting on that new technique with the embossing powder and the glitter. And if that goes as well as I expect it to, that's what we'll be doing in here next week. So I will put that up on the website for sale before the end of the weekend. So that's what I got for you. You guys got any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom? Thank you, Alice. If you haven't already given me a thumbs up, please do. I really, really appreciate it. It helps us to get more viewers from YouTube. They will refer more people to us. The more people watch and the more thumbs up we get. So I appreciate it when you'll do that for me. And any questions at all? Alice is going to be gone the next one, huh? Okay, so we will see you on Thursday. And good to see everybody. And we will see you on Thursday, Alice. I'll see the rest of you, I hope, on Saturday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. See you then. Bye.